my trip to Missouri Star Quilt Company with my daughter's mother-in-law, Wendy. We went last week to Missouri Star Quilt Company. We actually paid for this retreat a year ago, and actually I was really wanting to go 2.5 years ago. Wendy and I are both busy moms, busy grandmas. We're busy in the work that we do. We're busy with our family. Like all of you, we just have a lot on our plate. We were so excited to be able to just stop everything. We knew our families would be okay while we were gone, but we just wanted to get out of town, and we planned for this. At least I did a couple years ago, and I had mentioned it to Wendy then. I checked in with her again a year ago to say, hey, things are opening up. Maybe we can actually go. They're having retreats. Do you want to go? And we did. It was a sacrifice. We flew, and our fly days took pretty much all day. That was a travel day getting to Missouri because of the flights, and we had to change flights both directions. We had 2 planes both directions. Our families held together without us in town. It's certainly something we don't do all the time. It was a big treat for us to be able to get away. After the retreat, we were just so overwhelmed with how great it was. Fortunately, my dad's family lives about 20 miles away from Hamilton. That's where my dad grew up, and I think he's pretty much the only one of his generation, or one of the few that moved away. So we were able to spend 3 to 4 days with family on both sides of our quilt retreat, and that was great. But I just want to share with you just the unexpected blessings and surprises that we had. When we left, we were so overwhelmed with the things that were given to us, and then we did some shopping too. Missouri Star Quilt Company will ship your items, so we didn't have to get extra luggage or figure out how we were going to get this stuff on the airplane. A lot of gals drove and brought their own sewing machines for the quilt retreat. That didn't work out for us, but we had a great time. About 5-7 days after our retreat ended, both of us got our boxes in the mail of what had been given to us, and also what we purchased, and it was almost like Christmas. Just opening these things up, remembering what we want to use them for, why we were so excited to receive the things and buy the things that we did. And I just hope that you'll enjoy my unboxing of the things that I got from our retreat. I would love to go again. I hope that if you're seeing this, you might decide, hey, I really want to go do that. It was worth it. It was worth it to get away. It was worth it just to spend time with that many women. I thought I'd go crazy, but we had a really good time. So I hope you enjoy my unboxing of the things that I brought home from Missouri Star Quilt Company, Hamilton, Missouri. Everybody knows I was at Missouri Star Quilt Company last week with my daughter's mother-in-law, Wendy. We had a fabulous time. One of the things that we didn't expect was that they were going to gift us with so much stuff that came with our quilting retreat with the Doan Girls. That's Jenny, Misty, and Natalie. Natalie was, this was her last week before she was going to get married, and she got married. I've been home for a week. She got married last Monday. So congratulations, Natalie. We're all very excited for you. During the week, Natalie, Jenny, and Misty were presenting so many different projects for us to work on, and every time they gave us supplies, different things to try out and take home. Also, our very first day, we had a scavenger hunt, and I was thinking, well, it's probably a great way to at least get to know the town and what the different shops offered. And we went down the list, Wendy and I. Each of the shops, we had to go and find something or ask one of the employees a question, check in at the front desk, look around. But we didn't expect that we would be getting something from each of the stores or each of the locations that we were supposed to go down. And there was, I'll have to find my list, I think about 18 to 25 places that we had to check in with. Not all of them were just Missouri Star Quilt Company stores. Some of them were some of the local merchants in the town. And so that was fun to get to see what else the town had to offer and how mutually they're all supporting each other. I wasn't prepared for such a gifting that we received, and we found out probably in the middle of the week because we were trying to figure how are we going to get all this stuff home. Are we going to need to fill it, get another travel bag and fill that? But we found out that Missouri Star Quilt Company actually will ship the items that you buy through their stores back to your hometown. And we were so excited. We actually spent a little extra time on Friday just double checking about 10 to 12 stores just to make sure we had everything that we needed. With our badge for the conference, we were able to swipe and get an extra 10% off the already good deals we were getting, but then we were gifted so much stuff. So my box arrived. I don't know if you can see it. It's huge. It's just huge. And it took about, let's see, from the day we left, I think it took about 6 days to get to us because we had to go through the weekend, and then the gals shipped it out from Missouri Star Quilt Company on Monday, and we got our packages on Thursday or Friday. So I'm gonna open these. It's almost like having Christmas again, just because there were so many different things that were unexpected, and I just want to make sure that if you ever sign up for one of their conferences or one of their retreats, you'll be surprised at how much you go home with. So this is the bag they gave us the very first day. We took this bag with us. We got this at the Mercantile or the main store, if that's the Mercantile. We got this at the beginning of our scavenger hunt, and it's a pretty big bag. And we were thinking, why is this so big? We're not going to use this. But you know what? We filled it up. We filled it up. They packed this at the very top of my box. So I'm going to go through one of the projects. So one of the projects that we did, Jenny had chosen a 10-inch charm pack. And a charm pack has 42 different 10-inch squares in it. She had us do this project right here. She presented it as an around the world, but everybody was changing theirs just a little bit. I changed mine and I put a star in the middle. It kind of resembles or represents the Missouri Star. And even though it's got different colors, each square has a dark and light triangle. One of the things that we found, Wendy and I found on the last day of double checking at the shops, this was in the sale shelving at the back of one of their stores. And even though we had our tops packed away in our suitcases and we're going to ship everything else, our memory was trying to let us, tell us, is this going to match? I think it's going to match. I think we need at least 2 yards of this. So both of us got 2 yards of this fabric. I am planning on using this as a border. They also, with the kit, which I think I'm hoping is inside of here, should be inside of here, is a solid burgundy. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a small solid burgundy border, do a 4 to 6 inch border with this, and then a burgundy binding. So I'm excited we found this. That was very unexpected. I also, I haven't seen these in a week, so I saw this book in one of their stores, Amy Brickerman's Vintage Notions, an inspirational guide to needlework, cooking, sewing, fashion, and fun. And it really capitalizes on the 1910s, 20s, and 30s, but each of the pages are super colorful. It's not just quilting, it's about how to make different items from fabric, how to tailor your own things. There's recipes in here, needlework. I just thought it was a great book. And Amy, Barrickman, and I am really excited to go through all of this. My favorite era for quilting is the 1930s, so this will be perfect. Let's see also, and I did purchase that, but a lot of this right here, Password Keeper, I got for free at the conference. I thought it was just fun. We probably all need a place where we've actually written down our passwords and it's a quilting theme. Let's see what else. Okay, I did purchase this. I think I got 2 yards of it. It is Grandmother's Garden fabric. I believe that I got it 60 inches wide, and I think I got at least 2 or 3 yards of this. So I'm gonna have to plan a quilting project, or add it to my list because I have quite a list. This was a great find. Let's see what else. Oh, I did find this. I'll go ahead and open it. I thought this was great. It was in one of their stores on the main floor, not second floor, not one of their second floor stores. It is a panel that has pre-printed labels. Jenny really encouraged to get some kind of a fabric marker and mark these. Just sign them. Don't worry about embroidering them. If you like to embroider, great. A lot of times we just don't have time for that, and she really encouraged to make sure that we are tagging our quilts, putting some kind of a label on it, and I just loved this. I don't know, there's probably at least 30 labels on this because it's two-sided. Let me see if there's a manufacturer I can tell you. Okay, 100 years made with love, P-A-T-T, so I'm sure that's probably pattern or patent, 9851, created by, I'm gonna spell this, EDYTASITAR, of Laundry Basket Quilts for Hanover Fabrics 2021. And there is www.hanoverfabrics.com. I was so excited to see this because I do think it's also very important to make sure we're labeling our quilts. We don't always do that. We don't always just stop for a minute, take the time, but it's worth it so that our quilts later we remember what we've done with them or who got them. So let's see. This bag, oh, I got a car coaster. I don't know, I just thought I needed to have this. This is over by the register. It sits in your car where you'd put your drinks and absorbs the moisture, and it's a quilt star. Let's see. Does it tell me what design this is? No, it's just a quilt. Okay. And I was gifted a Missouri Star Mercantile stick and stitch patch. So I think they gifted this to me, or I just bought it. So that was in one of the bags. Okay, receipts, more bags. One of the things that you can get when you get into town at Hamilton is Welcome to Quilt Town, their brochure. And this helped us for the scavenger hunt. All of these places are owned by Missouri Star Quilt Company, or has something to do with quilting, or their businesses that Missouri Star Quilt include in their scavenger hunt. This was really fun. I just wasn't really thinking too much about the scavenger hunt. I knew we were going to do it, but it ended up being so much fun. I think we were just surprised at all the giftings that we got. So if you ever go to Missouri Star, you need to grab one of these. Okay, let's see. They also, we got our 10% off coupon, another bag that is flat because they gave us so much stuff. I think they just individually packed things. One of the projects, okay, this is my project bag that I got for this quilt right here. It has, let's see, so much stuff inside. Okay, it's got 2 pieces of burgundy fabric, and that is what I will use for the border, one of the borders, and the binding. So where's my fabric here? Thought I'd put it over here. Everything's falling. Yeah. So see, that's all going to go together. I really am so glad we found this. Okay. One of the other projects we did, Natalie. This was Natalie's project. I finally finished it. I've never done curves. She gave us a charm pack, 5-inch charm pack. This, and they were 1930s, which is my favorite. This is what I made. She did half circles, a circle in the middle, and then half circles on the edges. And I kind of liked this because it was tulips, but or a winding snake kind of pattern. But this is for me to finish into a table runner, and I will be doing that soon. I'm pretty proud. I've never done curves. There's definitely, they gave us a ruler to be able to help us do that. I think part of the ruler's in here, and then I have the other part right here. It's a 2-piece ruler kit. This is called the Drunkard's Path Template, Missouri Star Quilt Company, with a 1/4 seam allowance included. This is piece A. I think piece B is inside the box. This also is the instructions for this quilt around the world. And if you just do this, it's 57 by 69. And it's not just, I mean, it's a whole pamphlet. So that was great. The technique for making this can be used in so many different ways because you're going to end up with those triangles. And she gave us a worksheet that had, I don't know, maybe over 60 ways to lay out a light and dark triangled square to get so many different patterns. Oh, and then Jenny had us work on this project. It's 2 different Christmas trees. She gave us this fabric, enough for the trunk and a 2 tones tree and background. This is, and she also gave us this, it is Pine Hollow Patchwork Forest by Amy Smart. And this gives the whole instructions on how to make these quick cuts. You sew them back together and you can get 2 squares with your 2 different patterns or 2 different fabrics. This was, let's see, you can make a throw or a twin. Anyways, it's not just a piece of paper, it's a little booklet inside. That was a bonus project from them. Oh, here's the cover for the quilt behind me. Let's see. They also just gave us this. We got a packet of, I believe it's bigger than a fat quarter. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different coordinating fabrics. And we were just sewing, and Misty and Natalie were just like, here. And we were trying to figure out, well, what is this for? And they said, just because we don't have a project with it, just for you to work with or have. So that's kind of fun. Just unexpected stuff like that all day. We also, they handed us out the wallflower quilt pattern. It's made by Bahama Breeze. And we didn't really go over this. They were just passing this out. It has a template and a booklet inside here. So this is the quilt that you would make with that. It was just a whole day, several days of getting free projects. Oh, okay, this is fun. Wendy and I, my daughter is married to Wendy's son, and they're both paramedics in the Portland metro area, extended area. We have 3 counties, and they work within those. So we found this fabric our last day when we were shopping, and it's a first responder. I think that we can go ahead and cut out what applies to our kids, but there's a helicopter, which one of our kids is a helicopter paramedic, and then they both have driven around in just the regular ambulances. So stethoscope, fire truck, one of them works for a fire company right now. So we just thought this would be fun. I haven't seen this before, and we thought, okay, we'll figure out something to make for them. And now that we're out of mask season, which I don't think they could wear those at work anyways. They need to wear professional hospital grade. But fun fabric. I haven't seen it before. I don't even know who it's by. Let's see. Timeless Treasures Fabrics of Soho. Is there a date on this? C8420. And I don't see a date code on it, but another thing that we came home with very unexpectedly. Oh, I love this. And this was actually in one of their sale areas. It is, I think these are pussy willows. I'm not sure, but I think that's what they look like to me. How about if I do it this way? I got 6 yards of this. I am making a quilt called Goodnight Irene for my cousins who lost their mom and dad. I'm using his shirtings, my uncle's shirtings, and my aunt's shirts and house dresses for the fabric pieces. I thought this would be a really great fabric for the backing. So again, I got 6 yards, and I just love this. And it was on sale. They have a store that's just devoted to leather and purses, doing up purses that have a finished look to them. I cannot do that. Wendy is great at that. I can't do it very well, and I'd like to. I'd like to be able to have my tote bags that I do make have a zipper at the top, because I tend to fling my bags around and stuff flies out. Sally Tomato, they do a lot of her projects. If you go to Missouri Star Quilt Company tutorials on YouTube, you will see that they have Sally Tomato tutorials. I got this, let's see, it's 3 yards of zipper. I got the zipper, it's kind of a aged bronze, and then it has pull ties. They also have quilting services. You can long arm quilting services, not piecing. You have to do your own. So you can always contact them for that. That was one of their little flyers. Okay, I don't know. Oh, here's the gadget for putting zippers together for your items. It is called the Handy Zipper Gig. Change your zipper pull with ease. So it's made by the Gypsy Quilter. The gals at the register said, I need this. So I got it. Oh, on the first day, they handed us a mister. Not a mister. I'm excited to use this. There was a little something. Oh, there was some water in there. I had no idea. I didn't use it because there was 150 women at our conference. I didn't want to get my stuff out and then, you know, put it down, forget where I put it, and somebody else thinking it was theirs, take it home, and then they'd have two and I'd have nothing. So I put it in my bag. I'm excited to use this. Apparently it's got a nice fine mist that will be great at my ironing board. Oh, these are my scraps. We made houses. We made, don't know if my instructions are in here. Natalie, for getting married, Misty and Jenny wanted all of us to put together a, this is probably about a quilt square, you know, probably about 5 by 7, 5 by 8 of a pieced, fabric pieced house, and sign our name to it. And these are the extra scraps. They're blues, which I love, and then some 1930s scraps. And anyway, so that's what that is. I know I'm gonna, you know, every quilter needs to keep your scraps. Oh, here's the other side of the drunkard's path. I knew I packed it. The bigger one I kept with me in my suitcase, but so you will use this with the larger one. They have tutorials on YouTube for the drunkard's path to use this template, and their logo's on it, so I'm sure it's one of their templates. But I love it. I love it that it is also this color, because you know our clear ones are sometimes kind of hard to, it's like where is it, because they're all clear and you're looking right through it when you really need it. But they also, on the scavenger hunt, we got a 2.5 by 8 inch ruler by Missouri Star. So that was fun. Oh, we got this on the last day. There was a guy that was working one of the stores, and after he'd help each of the customers cutting their fabric at the cutting table, he would do this, and then he'd put it down and he'd help the next person. And we're like, well, what is that? And it is a thread picker, strings attached. And it just has a sharp, not a sharp, rough edge here. But he was using it, he was being conceited, he didn't want to have threads all over, especially when you've got the pinking shear cut on your fabric for the charm packs. You end up getting a lot of fabric fuzz. So we got this. It's called the Thread Picker Mitt. Another, we got a charm. Got a little charm of, I think it's a charm of a suitcase with little patches on it. Oh, this was fun. This was over in the purse store, the leather. It's a little keychain. And then inside, you have a pair of scissors to, let's see, how they do, you pull it apart. It's for traveling. And then, you know, you've got scissors for when you're doing your binding or any kind of handwork or whatever. So let's see if I close it, Debbie. Okay. And to put it back in. They do have in that same shop 3 different times during the week. I think it's, well, don't quote me. I hate to say it. There's a gal that comes in, one of their employees comes in, and you make your little leather pouch. You can stain it. I'm going to take the price tag off so the sticky doesn't stay. You can stain it or however decorate the leather design that's on there. And then I think you even do your own sewing of the closure together. That's a little in-store demo craft that you can do with one of their employees. It's not all the time. You have to make sure you find out when she's going to be there and then go. We didn't have time because we were at the Hamilton Hotel conference room with the other 150 ladies working on our quilt projects. But I thought that was really cool, and this is really cute. This is another thing, a cutting gizmo. So they said, I think we got this, I don't know, maybe the second day. It sits on your table. I think you can just run your threads through. Maybe when you're doing your chain stitch, you can just kind of quickly cut it all. So that was another free item that we got for attending their conference. We also got this, another ruler. It is the 5.5 inch square. So that was really great. This is Cute Cuts 5.5 Trim and Ruler by Lori Holt. Be in My Bonnet. Oh, I got these. Sometimes I'll use these. These are washers for your bobbin. This is the size M for a long arm quilting machine. They do have a regular size. It's just a Teflon that goes into your bobbin holder, and then you put your bobbin in and helps your bobbin spin. It's supposed to help out with if you're struggling with your tension on your long arm, or if you're struggling with your tension on your regular machine, they have these. They are the Mega Magic Bobbin Genies. I think the Mega is for size M. You might want to check that out and make sure that you're getting the right size if you ever want one of those. If you're struggling with the tension on your sewing machine, you really might want to try one of these, but also you need to make sure that you're using good thread. I use Gutermann. If I do an inexpensive or thread or a different company, I often will have tension issues on my bottom thread in my regular sewing machine. So these might be a great solution for you. I just grabbed another pack. I don't always use these in my long arm. If it's quilting great and it's oiled well, I don't really need these, but I just wanted to have those on hand. See, this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff. This was the end of their retreat season. So Jenny, Natalie, and Misty brought out just totes and totes and totes of all the leftover fabric kits that they had, so they don't have to hold on to these, for next year. I got a bunch of these. They were $2 each. They're in a little bag. I don't know if the $2 marking will come off. I hope it does, because I'd kind of like to gift these or have these around as projects for me and my granddaughters to use to work on for making pillows or whatever. There's batting and, let's see, at least 2 different, I think they're half yards of fabric, coordinating fabric in each. So I've got a bunch of these. I just thought it was really great. Let's see, and here's some more, and here's some more. So I've got 6 more. I just wanted to, $2, $2. Oh, and in their yard sale, fabric sale, at the end of the year sale, $15, I got a green fabric jelly roll. And I have plans for this because I have a daughter whose favorite color is green. And she is, that's just her theme. She'll know what I mean. Anyways, a different array of, they're all solids, but they're green, and she'll be excited for whatever she gets with that. This I got for free too, and you know what? I never took it out of the package. This is what we would get just as we were sitting there sewing, working on one of the projects that Misty or Natalie or Jenny was having us work on. And, oh, okay, it's a charm pack, Riley Blake. This is Blissful Blooms by Lilla, Tueller. And now I've got all kinds of ideas. I already did, but I have new ideas of what I can do with this. So this was one of the packages or one of the gifts that we got for free just by attending the conference and sewing together with the gals. Okay. It was kind of overwhelming. Sometimes we would just start laughing like, really, another gift? So we got this bag. This was also given to us, What's Sewing On. There were things inside, and honestly, I never really looked. There was so much going on. Ooh, this is thick. Aerofil by made in Italy. This is pretty thick, so I'm wondering, I bet you this is maybe for either hand sewing or embroidery. Pack of clips that you can use, when you're putting your binding on. This can hold down your binding as you're hand stitching. So that's cool. Magic pins. I saw this. I have not worked with these. Extra long pins and quilting pins. So it's probably when you're pinning stuff down and need to walk over to the machine to stitch. I'm going to read up on these to make sure I'm using them correctly, but a pack of that. And a pack of sewing needles. They gave us 5 blue tip needles, size 7511 by Clover. This is the kind of stuff that Misty, Natalie, and Jenny were just dropping by our tables while we were quilting away. Here's another pack, a $2 pack from the Fabric Yard sale. Oh, no, I don't remember getting this. This is a Clover seam ripper. You can lose these super easy. I've got them all over my different places in my quilting room. It is just a 482W. It's got a good grip on it. The older I get, I can't use the little ones, the little seam rippers anymore. I need a good handle. So we got one of these. We also, one of the towns, sorry this is all over the place, but this is how the box is packed. One of the stores, it was a hand and body lotion, fragrance, candle store in town that is just one of the regular merchants in Hamilton that is a part of the scavenger hunt. And they gave us essential oils. I chose the cherry almond. So I thought that was really sweet that they're also including the other stores. Really, it encourages us to go into the other stores and make sure that we are also supporting the other stores in town. So there you go, cherry almond. One of the stores gave us a vintage, I think they're vintage, Clark's bobbin. 3 preloaded bobbins on cardboard bobbins, you know, just the throwaways. I know that you can buy these for long arm machines and regular machines. I've never used them, so I'm going to double check to make sure that these are current and not vintage. Because if they're vintage, I'll just use them in something as a decoration. Hot glue them onto something that I've got around my quilting room. If they're to be used, I might try them. So, 3 bobbins. I think this was a store that had more antiques inside of it. It was not a Missouri Star store. It was one of the merchants in town. Oh, we also got a little clipboard. So that was cute. I put a lot of my notes here or the current project that I was working on at my table. But before I came home, I just packed everything. But I will be using this. I'm a clipboard girl. I use them all the time. I love them. And this is cute. It's got rulers, yardstick, measuring sticks. So that was fun for free. Okay, here, this looks like I probably bought this. Oh, I did. In one of their stores, let me see if this will tell me which one. Oh, it doesn't tell me. And that's the thing. Sometimes you're like, okay, the receipts can look all the same, but you're not sure which of these stores did I get this in. So I'm going to keep the receipt there. This is iron-on patchwork. And what I am never going to make a quilt jacket and wear that. Apparently, that is the popular thing right now. I'm not doing it. It reminds me of the 1970s, and I'm not going to look frumpy like that. At least that's how I picture it in my mind. But this, these are all iron on. You cut them out. You can put them on pillows. They had them, let's see if does this show? They had them on jeans, your jean pockets. I'll do that on your jean jackets. I'll put a patch or something on the back where it's something little. I'm not going to cut up an old quilt or a quilt to make a jacket, but I'll add. And this it's mix and match to create your own designs. 5 pieces, and each of them are 10 by 10. And they've got just different designs that you can use. I just thought that was pretty great. We were actually really impressed. Some of the employees had these on their clothing, and it looked adorable. And then they had a display table that had more items, and it did. It just really looked cute and fun, not 1970s frumpy look. One of the things that we used on the machines, if for people who did not drive or bring their own machine to the retreat, we could say, you know, we're not going to bring our sewing machine on the airplane. So we used theirs. My machine had this tape. It's called Diamond Seam Tape. Clucksew.com. And it shows you where your 1/4 inch is on either side. So when you're doing blocks that you really need to have, you know, you need to have a straight seam anyways. This is just an aid, and this was a great find. You know, one thing that I noticed, my machine at home here, the right edge of the foot that I use as my guide between the needle and the edge of my foot is a 1/4 inch. The machine that I used at Missouri Star and that some of my girlfriends have, their foot is wider. And I was sewing, I had a personal project I had brought. They encouraged us to bring a personal project to also work on, which I started working on it, and then I just didn't have time because I had so many projects of theirs that I wanted to do and at least complete something. And I got this and my 30s table runner done, except for the borders. But the machine there, I discovered, has a wider foot. And when you're piecing something, whatever your foot is, it needs to be consistent. This will help you. If your foot is wider than a 1/4 inch, this tape will help you. I'm trying to see how long of a seam you have, or how long of a tape this is. You've got a lot. There's a lot on there. So I was excited. Wendy and I made sure we went to the store that had this. It was the Tool Shed. I think it was the Tool Shed. Anyways, that's where we found this. I also found there the Jelly Roll Sasher. So this, I was looking at different gadgets on the wall, and I'm like, you know, they all look funny. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with them, but this looked pretty simple. And I looked up this gal online. She's got a YouTube. Her name is Pauline Rogers. So Jelly Roll Sasher, designs by Pauline Rogers. And she is from Australia. You can use this, and she shows you how to use jelly rolls with batting that is the 2.5 inch stripped batting. It helps fold and keep the fold in the batting as you are sewing the jelly roll into a closed kind of rope seam that you would use if you were going to do the fabric rugs. I'm sure you've seen those where it's the fabric rugs that are the ovals, and they just kind of take them and sew it bigger and bigger and bigger, and it looks really cool, especially if you've got, you know, coordinating fabric. I've seen some in 30s fabric where they make those rugs, and this is the tool that's going to help that go easier, to help that project. And I think she's got some other projects too. I just thought this would be a fun thing to learn. I've always wanted to at least make one rug, and it's a simple tool, but I got that. And I think, oh, there's more stuff in this bag. The receipt, and oh, I saw this. This is made by Clover. I did buy this. I have one that I've had for probably 15 or more years. It is the chalk liner pen. When I am quilting a big project on my long arm quilting machine, I will use this to mark my fabric. It's just white chalk. I believe it's chalk. When mine runs out, you can pull the top off, and I just put baby powder in it. That's what I fill it with. And then once you've lined your machine, or you know, your quilt pattern, and you've done what you needed to do, you can just kind of rub it, and the baby powder or the chalk goes away. But if I were to ever lose mine, I just wanted to back up, and it's made by Clover. Okay, so that was good. I did buy that. So, another bag done. Oh, here is two more. Oh, this is not. This is another package that I got for $2 with coordinating fabric for a project for granddaughters. This was Misty's project. I never got to it at the retreat because there was just so many other things to do. But I love this project. I can't wait till I've got time to work on that. Once I get this on the long, finished with the binding or the borders, and get it on the long arm and put some borders around my table runner, I am doing this. It is such a great project that Misty came up with. The fabric is so cheery. It is Ladybird by Crystal Manning, and it's a Moda product. 5-inch charm pack. I'm thinking this yellow is for one of the borders, and then muslin or natural fabric in here. So I have the instructions in my notebook, but I loved this kit. She did a great job of picking out the fabrics. I can't wait till I can get to this project. Let's see. Oh, here is, kind of crumpled, 19. It's the Missouri Star Scavenger Hunt. 19 different places we had to go to. We were taking notes. We were saying upstairs, downstairs, trying to figure out where it was we had to go. One of them was to the grocery store. And I'm trying to think, what did he give us there? I think he gave us a bottle of water. But we went around the grocery store. I think it's the only grocery store in Hamilton. They were really great. And they had, in the front of the store by the registers, they have all these wooden quilt pattern blocks. So there's an Amish man that in their town that cuts shapes and stains them. And then his family puts them together in quilting designs. So it could be a big star with lots of detail, and they had that in the front of the store. The largest was a 2.5 by 2.5 foot quilt designs, and they had little ones too, but of course Wendy and I wanted the really big ones, and we were trying to figure out how to ship them home, and we didn't get that figured out. So I think maybe within the next month or two I'm going to try to figure out what that is. But if you go to, it was High Class, HYKLAS grocery store. They were super nice in there. It's just a really fun community. Even the mayor helped out. He was wearing tuxedo print t-shirts the entire week, and the city paid for their own golf cart that has all the benches, and it has 4 different benches in the back, and he was shuttling for free from the main street in town, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 mile down to where the Hamilton Hotel was, where we were taking our classes. Missouri Star does have sleeping quarters where we stayed at on Main Street and a retreat work area, but we were such a large group, we had to go down the street to the Hamilton Hotel, and the rest of the ladies took up all the rooms there, and we used their huge conference room. So he was doing the shuttles all back and forth. He was such a fun guy. We never needed his services, Wendy and I, but a lot of ladies did. And on day 2, he just came in while we were working in our conference room and grabbed the microphone and said, "Hey ladies, if you need to get into town to get, supplies for your projects right now, or just want to take a rest or whatever, I'm getting ready to, head back into town, and I'll take you down there. And by the way, I'm single." And we all started laughing. He was really fun. I think he really enjoyed just being able to, provide that free service for the quilters. I think hopefully people tipped him, but Wendy and I didn't need his services because we had a car. We had other things we were doing in Missouri. So Oh, this is something that we got for free too. Oh, it's a hand sanitizer. It's flat. It's just a little squirt. See if I can do it. Hand sanitizer with a quilting design. They passed this out to us at the tables. Just fun little things. Oh, on the last day, I wanted to make sure I had a ornament. So it says Hamilton, Missouri, and it's a wooden Christmas ornament sewing machine. So I like doing that when I go places. Then I've got a reminder, and I need to just make sure that I write down, you know, what year this was that I got it. But that was my little keepsake for my Christmas tree this year. That I bought. Let's see, what are some, I'm getting to the bottom. There's another charm. I guess I need to figure out when I'm going to put these charms on. I don't have any bracelets. Oh, so for some reason I have another one of these. I think this might be Wendy's. I'm going to check in with her because we were both looking at them, and I know we both bought one. I should not have two in my box. So hopefully this is yours, Wendy. Okay, that was my charm. Oh, they also had, which I thought was super helpful, at each of their stores all over town, they had this little card, and it just talks about, it's a guide to pre-cut. It kind of gives you an idea of, like a guesstimation of, if you're going to buy a strip, or a 1.5 inch strip, or a 2.5 inch strip, or 2.5 inch squares, 5 inch squares, 10 inch squares, and fat quarters, how much that's going to do, like if you were going to do a project. Is this considered a yard, or do I need 2 of these in order? So for packs of 5 inch squares, if I want to make a twin quilt, I need 5 inch charm packs. If I've got a 10 inch charm pack, if I want to do a twin, I need 1. If I want a queen, I need 2 of the 10 inch charm packs. And a king can be 2 to 3 10 inch charm packs. So that was kind of a little nifty help reminder, so we could kind of make sure we're buying the appropriate amount of whatever we need. This, I thought they gave this to us. We might have bought them, but they totally featured this. Misty, Natalie, and Jenny. And I'm telling you, this is great. When you've done your 10 inch and you've got your 10 inch, 2 pieces of 10 inch cuts, you put them together and you're sewing on all the edges. And then you're cutting diagonally to get a 5 inch square. You're going to take this, you always need to be checking your sizes and trimming your squares before you start putting it together, so that your quilt is going to be, I always say be plumb, but it's going to be in alignment and not all wacky where your long arm quilter has to try to bring it back into alignment. But this has a groove in it. Jenny says iron to the dark side. So if here I've ironed to the dark side. I'm going to take this before I put it in the assembly. When I just have this square right here, you're going to put this, and it just rests on that fold where you folded back, and then you can trim around the edges and make sure everything is the right size, so that when you're piecing your quilt all together, you're adding the blocks together, this is going to help you do it the best way possible. And you're going to be, now I'm never going to make triangle blocks again without this. This pack came with 3. I think that my other 2 somehow got in my suitcase, but this is the 6 inch square. But there were, in this pack, there were 2 of others. It's called Block Lock, BLOCLOC.com. And this is a must. I don't know what I've done before I ever had that. Oh, they also, and my quilting partner that I long arm quilt with here in Portland, she uses the triangle, does the same thing, it's just a different design, clearly perfect slotted trimmers, 1 alignment, 2 cuts. And basically what you're doing, instead of laying out your square after you've sewn it, ironing it open and then cutting it, before you iron it open, you're going to be you're laying this over to get, just to kind of square up your square before you've opened it and ironed it. It's just another way, but they must have given us this one. I can't remember, maybe we bought them both, but we got a discount, and the gals were featuring that. Oh, one of the things we got on our scavenger hunt was a block idea book from Jenny. And it's a pretty good sized book. It's got a lot of projects in it, a lot of information. It's over 100 pages, 120 pages. And we got this for free on our scavenger hunt. Her story, Jenny Doan, and her family story is really inspirational. So if you get a chance to at least look through one of these books, you're going to find projects that are fun. They've done all of them. It's not like they're telling you what to do and they've never practiced it themselves. They have. There's quilts everywhere. You can see their work. But that was a fun gift on the scavenger hunt. Let's see. Just receipts. There's 2 things left. I think, oh, there's a few things left, and my things are falling. There's a few things left. We got this ruler on the scavenger hunt. It's 2.5 by, everything's backwards here, by 15 inches. This is a really handy size. I haven't used it yet. It comes with a tape on the back. I'm sure it's just to protect, but it rips off, and then you can, it's that clear iridescent yellow, neon yellow. So this was another gift that we got for free. Then there's 2 things left. They gave us a jigsaw puzzle, 18 by 24 of them, that they'd signed. They signed the puzzle. We were all like, man, you signed every one of our boxes? And they're like, no, it's in the print. It was printed on. So they gave each of us one of these on our last day. And we just thought that was kind of fun. At the bottom of the box, I had to go find my necklace because I did wear this home. On our scavenger hunt, one of the stops is to go by a jewelry store that's on their main street. And what we got there is that he cleaned one of our rings for free. So I had him clean my ring, and Wendy had a piece of jewelry that he cleaned. But he designed this necklace. It is a sewing machine. I came back at the end of the week with Wendy. You get to pick 1 or 2 pearls, or no, actually, they're not pearls. There are pearls. You're picking 2 clams, and you can, or I had him do it. He broke them open and got these 2 pearls in here. They just kind of dangle inside the necklace. But it is Blue Diamond Jewelers, John Farnsworth. And he's on Davis Street, which is the main street there in Hamilton. I wanted to support him and his business. I really liked what he designed. You can go there. One of my roommates, actually, in the sleeping room, also had gotten one of these. But it's his original design, and I just really loved it. And it's fitting for the town, right? So this was a great trip. This took a long time, a lot longer than I expected to unbox. I haven't seen the box since we left Hamilton, but it's empty except for some receipts. I'm going to go organize it all now in my quilting room, but just want to thank you for watching. If you ever decide to go to Missouri Star Quilt Company, one of their retreats, it's really worth it. Just probably taking a break from everyday life. I know I needed that break from my everyday life, and I went with my friend and my daughter, who is my daughter's mother-in-law, and we had a great time. Thank you.